Welcome to Lunch Hour Legal Marketing, teaching you how to promote, market, and make fat stacks for your legal practice. Here on Legal Talk Network.
Conrad, welcome to Office Hours on this beautiful Thursday, June 25th, 2026.
Well, thank you for having me. I just switched to my camo camera, so we now have good 4K recording instead of my FaceTime camera.
We love your beautiful resolution. We want to see all the
whiskers,
all the features of your mug.
You know, I have a face for podcasts. Let's be honest.
Well, we're live on video, so whatever.
We are live on video. Yeah. All right.
We are also. Well, I wanted to first, for anybody who's watching live, if you have questions, this is Office Hours. I'm going to remind folks, submit your questions. If you are just joining us, don't be shy. Shout a question out. We'd love to hear from you. And if your question is somewhat related to legal marketing, we might just choose to answer it. But we do also come prepared with questions. And this is from a Facebook group of lawyers that I am a member of. It's a private group, so I'm going to leave it anonymous. But here's the question. It's kind of long, so get ready. You maybe want to write some stuff down.
All right. Is there math?
Nope. Well, maybe.
Okay. There should be.
Yeah, you're right. There should be. Your biggest bang for your buck in advertising. I'm a solo PI lawyer in a small to mid-sized town. Lots of large national PI firms are moving into our area and spending a small fortune on advertising, billboards, direct marketing, pay-per-lead, you name it. As a solo, it's getting hard to keep up. I'm 23 years into my career. I thought we were
going to hear 23 years old. I was going to say, good for you.
Right?
Legal prodigy.
Doing it a minute. In all of the groups, well respected in my area and established. Have referral partners. I've got lots of great Google reviews. That'll be a question that we would ask of, like, you might think it's a lot of great Google reviews, but how does it compare all these national players coming to town? But more on that later. I actually try cases. I have a niche.
No one cares. No one cares that you try cases.
One of the only female PI lawyers in my area. I have social media pages. Not great at maintaining those. I haven't done much in paying for advertising, except, get ready, your favorite. You should apologize for this next part. Yep, I pay $450 a month for Avo, MartindaleLawyers.com. That has led to pretty much nothing that I can tell. I'd love to get more referrals. What sorts of advertising have people in PI had any luck with that won't break the bank? SEO company question, better plan with Avo, Google ads, Facebook ads. One of those stupid companies that you pay per sign up.
Well, if you're in Colorado, you should not do that anymore.
Yeah, you can't do that in Colorado. Hire someone to deal with social media presence, or go to market directly to referral partners like insurance agents, medical providers, go to all the networking events, etc. I get bombarded constantly with companies trying to sell me advertising in some form or another, and I want to look into something I know has actually worked for people, not sign up for yet another thing that promises everything and delivers nothing. This is a more and more common story that we're hearing, Conrad.
By the way, this should be, I mean this should be a $1,000 consultation fee.
Right. We give it away for free.
I mean it. Like, this is where you guys are missing, because everyone is trying to sell you, and you think everyone is trying to sell you the channel that they're good at, and you think you know the channel that you should be activating on. This is the first question most of you should be asking, is what should I be doing? Given, and the beauty of this is, given my very unique, and everyone is a special snowflake. Don't get me wrong. Everyone is a special snowflake, but given my unique special snowflakeness, my unique assets and liabilities, etc. What should I be doing? Now, the one thing that she did not ask or answer outside of $450 paid to the internet brands Keiratsu, go look that word up, is what her budget is. So
yeah,
I'm going to give you the question was a very modest budget. I don't know what that actually means, outside of looking at this as a percentage of spend. And she also did not give us the most important thing, which is what do you want to do, man? What are your business objectives? Are you trying to make $1 million next year, or are you trying to grow into the biggest firm in the nearest 100 miles? I don't know.
Well, I think so. To answer, I think that's a fair point. But my interpretation, I think, framing this so we can give a more concise answer. I think it's safe to say that she is not trying to be the dominant player in her market. She's like, I got national players coming in. It's getting competitive. I've got obviously have some money. I mean, I've got, at least, we $5,000 is going to Avo. So maybe we could take that and just double down on referrals and relationships.
Buy a new car.
Can you buy a new car for $5,000?
For your kid,
I guess maybe. And I think I liked what you had said, which is let's actually use that number. Let's say she's trying to make $1 million
in revenue or profit.
I'm gonna have to say revenue, because $1 million in profit. Get ready to spend some money.
Okay.
Right. Or what do you want to do? You want to do profit? We for people that are following along here, on the last episode we did $100,000 budget. And it was funny because I got a lot of feedback being like, that's not enough money. And I was like, I hear
that
you,
is not
but
enough
that's
money,
where,
right?
that's where a
Depending
lot of
on what you want to do.
So let's flip the script then and not do that again. Let's say it's $1 million in profit.
Okay.
I thought you might enjoy that.
No, well, it changes the answer. It changes the answer dramatically, right? So
we already did the other answer. So let's do this one instead.
So I'm going to use very simple, and this is an entirely okay. I'm going to use very simplistic round numbers, and I'm going to rely on some work from Leah Miller and benchmarks from Tim Mackey at Vista Consulting, which say a well-run firm is doing a 30% margin. Okay. Well-run firm is doing a 30% margin. That means that we need to get to $3 million to be making $1 million a year, which probably means you need to hire 1 or 2 more lawyers, right? At a minimum. So like if that's what you're
using AI
for everything, do AI for everything, and you will have this totally locked down.
So let's do budget first.
So budget first at a see, now I'm assuming we're at $3 million, but she's a solo. So let's back this backwards. Let's say she is doing $1 million in revenue, and I'm going to give and she's a well-run firm, and I'm going to give a 30% margin on that. She's probably spending 10% of her revenue on marketing, right? And at $450 a month, there's got to be something else in there. But
10% was supposed to go to coaching.
Would you like to make fun of them right now? Go ahead. What are you referring to, sir?
I'm just saying some people say you should spend 10% of your revenue on coaching.
Okay.
Some people.
So I would go back and look at, again, this is coming from Leah Miller and Tim Mackey. Most of you solars is putting about 10% of your revenue into marketing, which will not be enough, to be blunt, to get to add 1 or 2 lawyers and get to $1 million in revenue. I think you should be targeting 20%. So just understand where that is. But within the framework of her question, this is actually fairly clear to me. She has a modest budget. She is in small town, right? And she's feeling the top dogs and Morgan & Morgan and 7 other firms that are based in this big city that's within an hour and a half of her.
Orion Legal.
Wow. Yes. So they're starting to move into this territory. So this is actually really, really straightforward to me. With a small budget, in the local market. She has a social media presence, but she says it's not active, which means she actually doesn't have a social media presence. It means she has a login to a Facebook page that is empty, right? There's no engagement going on there. I'm making the potentially fallacious assumption that she has time. She's also a woman in a male-dominated practice area. So you can shoot me for saying that, but that is a fact.
Yeah, don't shoot you. I think that you're alluding
to. Don't shoot the messenger.
Might be some positioning opportunities there.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Sure.
So this is what I would do. 100%, hands down, at your low spend option to build this out. The problem here, sorry, I'm gonna give you two answers, both of which are true. Number one, I would understand what your acceptable cost per client is, right? And by that I mean, if we run direct response advertising, which is pay-per-click and local service ads, if you can achieve an appropriate cost per client, and it is going to be high, it is going to be somewhere between 25% and 40% of the value of that client. If you are okay with doing that, I would put money into that direct response vehicle because that will return. That will be a lot of money, and it is going to take time to come back in the PI world. So you may end up in a cash flow problem doing that, but that is the right business answer. However, the much more interesting business answer, and the answer that I really, really like to share here, is what you really want to do is find the women in your market, whatever little small town, tertiary, quad. What's that? What's after tertiary? What's four?
Quaternary?
You don't know. You're guessing too. I was going to say that. So let's not. So you should be putting in my perspective, all of your time is going to take time, but also your money into putting yourself in front of people who want to hire women, which I am going to fallaciously and simplistically assume are other women. Okay. And so I would go out of my way to position yourself as so this is not just a market positioning. This is by market, I mean geography. This is also demographically focused on women. So small market, a portion of that small market, and I would go out of my way to profile and be in front of and celebrate the women in your small town over social media. And I would put some advertising dollars behind that to the women in that small town over social media. And that is what I would do from a cost effectiveness perspective, your dollar best spent.
I think that's sound advice.
Oh, so one of the questions was SEO.
Yes.
And you mentioned
as well SEO company.
Oh, you want to put money into an SEO company? I would
say
GoDaddy
SEO.
There are a couple of SEO companies that do really good job with small budgets and small towns.
So let me ask you a question. So this is what I love. So you might have to reframe here. Okay. But based on what we've already said, how much? Well, how much am I spending on SEO? What's an appropriate SEO budget for this firm?
Well, I think what you have to think through is whether or not, and I don't know the answer to this question because I don't know where you are and what you're.
Let's say competitive reviews.
You have competitive reviews?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Watch this, everyone. Watch Guy's hat catch on fire. What's your domain ranking?
Oh God.
What's your DR score?
Stop, turn it off. We're ending this right now.
Well, but here's the thing. If you have done nothing with SEO, and for this lady, it sounds like she has done nothing from an SEO perspective ever. You're starting the marathon. You're not even at the starting line. You're still putting on your sneakers, and there are people who are at mile 20. And so I think it's the answer to the SEO question is, what does the competition look like? Where are you? And is this something you can win? And if the answer is you cannot win this for incremental business, and by incremental business, I mean car accident lawyer near me, you at the very least should be winning it for your brand and your name for those referrals. Like, understand what your profile looks like when people search for who you are because they have been referred to you. And that can go back to Avo. That can be a LinkedIn profile. That can be your lawyer buyer profile. Like, understand what that looks like and make sure that that experience is really good. That's part of SEO, right? It is not as difficult as winning for motor vehicle accident lawyer in Chattanooga, but that is part of SEO. And I think that's a really, really important part. Do you necessarily have to hire an SEO company to make that happen? Probably not, if you understand some of the basics, but like, look at those directories that show up for your name. Are you delivering a really, really good experience? What are the results that show up for your name? Are any of them awful? And how much of those do you personally control? Ideally, it's your LinkedIn profile and your own website. Right. So I think that is an SEO answer that I would think through. And then the other part of this becomes local search. Run a local Falcon scan, understand what your review profile looks like, understand how you rank, understand where you rank, understand the limitations of where you rank. I think that can be a part of this as well. You said competitive reviews. So maybe local search is a bigger part of your pie than anything else.
Yeah, what I'm really trying to drive at is this. All those things where the competitive gap that you have with the firms that are actually appearing for queries that are relevant to your practice in your area totally matters. And so, as you mentioned, domain ranking, which I don't know. You already said my house is going to catch on fire because I'm very skeptical of that as a proxy for that competitive gap. But nonetheless, it's something. My question is always, you've got to contextualize your investment in SEO against your total investment. And so what I see over and over again is firms that are in this position, they go to Facebook groups like this lawyer did, and they say, who do you like for SEO? What company should I hire for SEO? And guess what happens? 70 to 80% of their overall marketing budget is sent to this company. And this is how the story goes. 6 months in, how are we doing? Oh, we got leading indicators, blah, blah. 12 months in, should I keep doing this? Oh, it takes time. SEO takes time. All right. So now you're at 80% of your total marketing budget into SEO. You're 12 months in, you're 18 months in, whatever. That's bad. That's not going anywhere positively. You're going to be out of business doing that. And so go ahead.
But and this is why I think it's really important to contextualize the competition. Okay.
I agree. The gap matters. The gap matters. But are you, let me just ask you this. Do you have, what is your experience with small firms investing 80% of their all-in marketing budget in SEO and success?
So two answers to your question. I do not like having single-threaded firms. I do not like having a firm that is dependent on a single. But that is a strategic problem, right? And that is a reality for small firms, right? It's very difficult to play at all in the SEO game without a significant budget, right?
And let me ask you this. If let's say you are single channel, is SEO your first channel if you only get to pick one? You can think about that for next time.
Well, let me answer your question carefully.
Yes.
If you have a high degree of confidence that you can do well in the local search results, given the competition, and you have a single channel, and by the way, to do that, you will need to put all of your eggs in a basket. I don't have as much. I don't like being single threaded from a strategic perspective on any given channel. But if you're going to be single threaded on a channel, I would rather run that. Let me give you the flip. Your cost per client is going to be lower on local search than it is on LSAs or pay-per-click. I would rather win local search than than either of those two, to be blunt.
Yeah. Baked into all of this is your assumption that is in whatever time frame we're talking, 12 months, 18 months, that they're at least the gap is small enough that it can be closed and you're actually generating business. Because otherwise,
I'm making that assumption, right? Like,
let's just do some math here, right? So you're like, we said, what did we say? Do we give what's the annual budget for this firm?
We don't really know if they're at $1 million and they're spending 10.
So $100,000 makes 100,000. Yep.
They're spending $100,000, right?
$100,000. So if they got to
get, you can run $100,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just very simplistically talk about a cost per client of, and we need to beat the referral price, which is a third, right? Yep. To other lawyers, we need to beat the pay-per-click and LSA price, which is going to be somewhere between $2,500 and $4,000, right?
Yeah.
So let's say we're dropping $100,000 and our target is $2,500, right? Yeah. That's 40 clients. If I can run 40 clients running on a non-direct response channel that has an asset that is going to persist, I would much prefer that. Yeah.
And I, in fairness, because I know that you're thinking about, because she asked, biggest bang for your buck in advertising. And so I'm going to give two of my reactions to this conversation so far. So first of all, question one is I don't even know that advertising is on the table here. I think if you're going to do advertising, you alluded to some of this, but I'd be thinking first party audience advertising, get into your CRM, get into your database, advertise to referral partners.
That's true.
Advertise.
I bastardized the word advertising to mean marketing.
Yeah, but it's okay. And again, she did ask advertising, and I thought your responses were good because again, you said social media and whatnot, and and I think that's great. I think community stuff. I think I like your positioning to, get all of the if you're going to do the positioning as like we're gonna rally around women. I would get all the women in my, and she says she's in a lot of the trial lawyer associations and she's in other networking groups and professional groups. Get all your friends, women friends, email all your business professional women friends emails. Get them to opt in. Maybe you're doing, I don't know, I'm just making things up on the fly here, but you're doing a weekly book club or you're getting together. You've got something that gives them opt in. Maybe you're going to do we want to support young girls in the community, and maybe you're going to do a scholarship for local girls in the community. You rally together to support women. There's content and media around that, and then the people on those opt-in lists you're going to advertise to them on places like LinkedIn and Facebook and yada yada yada. So I think that's all. That's kind of, if I was going to do single channel advertising, that's probably where I would start. Is like brand building, affinity ads on social, YouTube, email, all that kind of stuff.
And I would take that $100,000 and I would spend $500. I'm pulling this out of my head. Mm-hmm. $500 a week on getting someone to come in, set up interviews, and it's probably less than $500 a week. Sorry as I think this through, but like just simplistically, and I'm gonna make a point out of this. It's gonna take a day a week out of your time. It's gonna take the starving wedding videographer who doesn't have anything else to do to set up meetings, to do some video, to do post-production, to recut that, to reformat that into multiple social media posts. And so that person and your time is going to cost $25,000, $500. Again, I'm using round numbers. It's probably less than that.
Let me tell you something. My wedding videographer is not starving.
But they're not doing anything. They're starving on Monday through Friday.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah. Yep. They're starving on Monday. They have nothing to do. Right.
Well, they're planning.
So again, I'm going to assume $500 a week to do a shoot.
I actually think that's fair. I've been listening to some people out there that are doing this kind of thing as a service, and I think $3,000 a month is totally in the vicinity.
So let's call it that. for your 100 grand, that leaves you $75,000. It's very important. And this is a fallacy that we have about social media. I don't understand why the social media people don't get this. It's very important that $75,000 is spent on advertising that content to your network and the ring around that network. And if you do not do that advertising, your social media campaign will not do anything to expand your network. You have to put that money behind that. And so women business leaders in Poughkeepsie, wherever we happen to be, right? So figure out how to target that group, figure out how to target your network, and put the money behind this. We talk about 80-20, right? This is taking 75% of your spend and putting it into expanding your network. That is unbelievably key, and it's missed.
That's why I love the we're gonna rally around. We're gonna do scholarships for high school graduate girls in our community, and we're gonna do all of our content and promotion around that. So what you do is you say, okay, tag another business professional, and for every person that you tag, we'll match whatever, something like that. And I know there's rules around this, and the way that I articulated that, there's things you have to navigate, but that does what Conrad's talking about, which is you're expanding the network, because the people who are following you, who are connected with you, they start tagging people that you're not connected with, and that expands the impact of those campaigns. There was a second thing that I want to talk about in terms of single channel and advertising. I totally lost my train of thought, but look, bottom line is, which I think we're both agreeing on, is that the lower budget non-brand direct response is not the first dollars that we're spending.
Right. It's not the most cost effective, that is for certain.
Right. You pay a premium. So that's the thing. You pay a premium for high intent and short term, right? You want your ads up now, you're going to pay a premium. And by the way, she also mentioned that she's got lots of large national PI firms moving into our area. I'd be getting out of that game if I was in that game with those folks, because you are going to lose.
And I'll tell you this, and this is very unfortunate, but don't hate the player, hate the game. Those national players are deliberately and happily losing money on their first 1, 2, 3 years in your market. You cannot afford to do that. And so this is Walmart shutting down the local hardware store. You can't play in that game. They are deliberately losing. You can't survive there. So the likelihood that you can generate business at a cost per client that is acceptable to you when you have major competitors who are willing to lose money for the first 1, 2, 3 years, very light.
And I'm going to tell you the other thing that's going to make, we've talked about this a million times, but now the more that I reflect on this, yes, your basic foundation SEO things, Google Business Profile, send happy clients, they're do them for people that look you up. You're going to lose in SEO. You're going to lose because they're going to scale, and maybe they're going to buy fake reviews, but you're not going to keep up because they have volume and you don't. And so even if you have competitive reviews today, you got national play. I mean, I just saw this in the Detroit market. Someone comes in, and they go to the local firms here, and they're like, hey, look, we're going to refer you cases and blah, blah. And they do the media blitz, and all of a sudden, and remember, the national brand is handling intake. So they're getting the reviews. They're developing the initial relationship, and they're generating reviews. And you're just not going to keep up. So even if you're competitive today, you're not going to be competitive tomorrow if you're not scaling. And it's just that this just is what it is. And I tell people all the time, I wish it wasn't the case. I wish someone would do something about the fake review problem. I wish there was some kind of leveling the playing field in reviews, and it wasn't most reviews takes most context, but it is. And so again, I'm not saying do zero, but you're going to be single channel and SEO in that environment. You're toast.
That's fair. That's a concern. A very real concern.
I mean, and look, as I've said many times, we sell SEO, right? We've been doing SEO for almost 20 years. I love SEO. I heart SEO, right? But it is not, I don't think that in a good conscience, we just see it so many times over and over again. If you're going to be single channel, if you're low budget, you better be investing in reputation, relationships, brand. And the good news is you don't have to be a TV media buyer or radio media buyer or billboard media buyer to build brand online. There's all sorts of stuff you can do, local community events, taking in-person events and turning them to online digital assets, CRM database, email marketing, whatever you want to call it, first-party audiences. And the cost pers on all that stuff, cost per impressions, cost per clicks, cost per everything is way lower than it is in non-brand direct response, especially on Google.
All right.
What else is in here? Anything?
I was saying, what else you got?
That's kind of it. I mean, the other thing too.
By the way, sorry, hold on. We didn't. Let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with your internet brands budget of $450?
I think so. It's in this. So this example, I think this is an easy place to cut. And this is another thing that I see is a problem. A lot of the groups and communities that I'm in, the SEO people are like, it's revenge. We're guilty of it. Revenge of the directories. The directories are back. You want to rank in AI search, you got to be in the directories. But here's the thing, folks. Remember this example. This is someone's $450. That $450 a month, that can be spent so much better in this example. If $450 a month is 0.5% of your marketing budget all day, revenge of the directories, you better be in the directories. But so this goes back to that same narrative where it's like people are seeing these headlines about AI and citations, and Guy and Conrad are always talking about it's a digital PR game and the directories are back and all this kind of stuff, but it's got to be contextualized against what your growth objectives are and what your budget is. And it better be a very small part of your budget. And I got to tell you, these people that are like, get links wherever you can, get directory listings wherever you can, they're giving you bad advice if they're not contextualizing it against your objectives and your budget.
I'll give you another more sinister answer to this question.
Okay.
It's $450 because you don't think about it that hard.
Right.
It's only $450. One client will make it worthwhile. You're not thinking about your $450 spend. You're thinking about your $4,500 spend or your $45,000 spend. That is a red flag, easy to rationalize $450. That number bothers me intrinsically because it can be designed to be one of those things that you shrug off because it's only $450.
Running in the background.
Yeah. So think that bothers me, man. Right? Like it's one of those things that is. I'm not saying Internet of Brands is doing this. I'm not saying that I haven't been in Internet.
You created it.
I will tell you this: a $450 subscription is whether it's deliberately or not deliberately, has the impact. And I would suggest that there are definitely vendors who do this deliberately, has the impact of having the client shrug off the spend because it's only $450. That is,
and I'm going to tell you, this same thinking that you're doing right now, which is spot on, is exactly what low budget SEO companies do.
It's only $450.
We can do SEO for $450 a month.
Have you talked to it? And no one's doing $450 for SEO.
Okay, maybe that's
legal?
A little low.
Yeah,
maybe that's a little low.
But Guy's point is very real. Playing in the SEO game for $1,000 a month, like you can't play in the game.
Can't do much.
The vendor is going to take all the credit that they possibly can for everything that actually ever happens, and they're not doing. You can't do much for that. You just can't. And so
there you go.
Yeah. I don't like the $450 number because I think it is designed to make you not question it, make you not analyze it.
Conrad, if people are watching this and they're like, gosh, Conrad sounds like such a smart guy and I'd like to learn more from him, where can they go to see you talk about this stuff with
Wow.
a bunch of other law firm owners and marketing leaders and CMOs and marketing directors.
That is the most heavy-handed segue we have had to promote Lunch Hour Legal Marketing Summit. We would like to see you in person. It is going to be good. We've got a really solid lineup of speakers, and it is going to be Lesky and Conrad show this time. I don't know that that's based on feedback or just our gut feeling that it was a little too much of you and me yammering, but and we may have a really exciting announcement at the Lunch Legal Marketing Summit. But go to lunchhourlegalmarketing.com and join us August 11th through 13th in Nashville. I want to call it Nashville.
Yeah, and again, so I'm just looking at lunchhourlegalmarketing.com here. You're a lawyer. The tickets are currently $1,499, $1,500.
Discount?
No, well, sure,
Okay,
you
good.
can offer a discount. We
No,
can offer a
no,
discount
I don't
if you
think we
want,
should.
But, so it's $1,500. Depending on if you're in Nashville, you don't have to fly. In fact, you have no accommodation. So if you're a Nashville personal injury lawyer, if you're, I'm speaking to you, solo PI lawyer in Nashville that posted this on Facebook. I don't know if she's in Nashville. There's 3 months of your Avo subscription. Just pause that Avo and you paid for a trip, and I promise you will get more value out of Lunch Hour Legal Marketing Summit than you get out of a year of Avo.
That's the lawyer price, $1,500. If you're an in-house marketing person, it's $1,000, right?
$999.
Wow, it's one of those numbers that you don't question.
Exactly right. It's $950.
$950.
All right. Well, what else you got?
You
Anything else?
I got nothing. I've got
else.
nothing. I've been kind of jammed. I was out in Iowa at the Iowa State Bar Association annual meeting the other day. That was a good time. Nashville. There we go. I think we should call it Nashville.
This is new to me.
Well, it doesn't. It just.
Did you make this up?
I made it up, but okay. It sounds like the Dr. Seuss version of Nashville. All right. We got nothing else. We'll stop yammering.
We are out of here.